So today I have a full basket with more products than I can actually put on my face, but at least I have plenty of options. There are products in here that I already know I love. I love their mascara. I do not have my favorite here in the basket because I used it up. And spoiler alert, there is a product in here that I'm not real fond of. Essence is a very affordable brand, and I hear a lot of people say a lot of good things about their products. So let's dig into this basket and see what I think. So I'm going to start off by putting something on my lips because my lips are feeling a little bit dry. And I got these two Juicy Balms. They're Glossy Butter Balms. This is Choco Lot to Handle, and the other one is So Very Cute. And I think that I'll go with this So Very Cute. And it does have, as you can see, some pigment to it, and I got a chunk. It has a little bit of a fragrance to it, and it's just a tiny bit sticky, but not too terribly bad. Next, I'm going to go in with this face primer. This is the Silky Blur Poreless Primer, and it has niacinamide in it. It says it has a silky, lightweight texture, and it's supposed to prolong your makeup. Makes your pores optically invisible for a smooth complexion. It has just a little bit of a fragrance to it as well. Not too much. It feels hydrating. That absorbed into my skin very quickly. Does not feel tacky. Feels nice and smooth. I can't really tell that my pores are any different, but let me put a little bit more here in my T-zone where I have a little bit of a problem with pores. I am not fond of a tacky primer, so I actually like the way this feels. I did get a couple of eye products. I got the Jelly Grip Under Eye Primer Stick, and I also got the Eyes Bright Brightening Effect Under Eye Stick. I think for today's video, I'm going to go with the Brightening. I do not like how big that is to go under your under eye. I would think it would be a little bit better if it were a little bit smaller. It would be easier. It's not as hydrating as I thought it would be. I don't know that this product is necessary if you're going to use a concealer. I don't know if you need both. For kicks and giggles, because now I'm just curious, I think I do want to try this Jelly Grip. It has a little cap on it to keep it from drying out. And I am just going to take that and get it. Oh yeah, this is moisturizing. That's what I was looking for. My under eyes can be very dry. That feels really nice. I also picked up these highlighting drops. It says Drop of Sunshine. It has hyaluron and niacinamide in it. And I think I'm going to put this on under my foundation. And then I'm just going to dab that on with my finger. That was way too much. That as well feels very hydrating, and it does give you a nice subtle glow. I think I'll put some of that on my nose. But it's so subtle that I don't think it's really going to hurt anything. We'll see how well the foundation covers it. For today, I'm going to use this new foundation stick. I have the shade 140, and I have seen mixed reviews on this foundation. I'm not sure if that's going to be the right shade for me. It looks a little light, but it is very balmy. I'm going to take my Rose and Ben C42 and blend that in. I do believe that this is a little bit too light for me, but that did blend in very nice. And even though it's a little light, I believe that I can warm it up with the rest of the product, so I'm not really concerned. I feel like this is like a medium coverage. I have a concealer. This is the Correct and Conceal. It is an under eye brightening concealer, and I picked the shade Light, and that may be too light for me as well. It is very pink, which you would expect an under eye brightener to be, but I like to use my finger when I'm applying any products under my eye. Plus, I feel like it warms up the product and it just helps it to distribute and kind of meld with your skin a little bit better. I will probably, because this is a little bit darker, I am looking very pale. I will probably use this powdered foundation over top of what I have on. This is in the shade 07 Natural Suede. I think that that is a much better shade for me. But before I do that, let's use some bronzer, which to me looks more like a contour shade. This is the Baby Got Bronze, and again, it's in one of these cute little sticks. Trying to see what shade it is, but it's hard to read. So you see how gray that is? So we will just do a little contouring. We'll put some on my nose. That smells really good. And we'll put some under my chin. And then I'm going to take that same brush. See, it gives you more of a contour than bronze. It almost smells like cucumbers, actually. It blends out very nice. It looks really good here as a contour. I do have another bronzer, but before I do that, let's try some of the powdered foundation. See if I can't warm up my face some. And that looks a little bit better. I still have a nice glow from using those highlight drops, so I do like that. So this has the little sponge, and you just twist it, and then you squeeze the product up into the sponge. See, that just looks gray. And on this side, I have the polka dot pores. I'm going to move on to blush. I already had this Essence The Blush, and it is in the shade Befitting, and I do really like this blush. It's very nice. It's very pigmented. It goes on very nice. But I did buy 3 blushes. I bought 2 of the blush sticks, and it's odd to me that they're different sizes. But they're still cute. I really do think that these little small products are very cute, and it's a nice way to try out the Essence products. So this is Sweets and Roses, this little cream blush. I like that shade. The other one that I have is Peaches and Cream, and this one is nice as well. I also got a baked blush. This is in the shade Cool Coral, and it's very, very pretty. So I'm thinking that I may use the cream, the Sweets and Roses. I'm going to use my BK Beauty. This is a Nikki LaRose N17, and rather than put that on my face, I'm going to pick it up on the brush and then apply it. That goes on very nice. It has a very pleasant scent to it. It's not too strong. This is very pigmented, as you can see. Before I put the baked blush on there, I am going to set that with this Flawless Skin Trio. This is a loose setting powder, blurring, brightening, and smoothing. It has the lavender, the pink, and the peach shades in it. And you can use one or all 3. It has the cap that you turn. Just put some in the cap, and then just tap my brush in there. That looks better. It's still very pigmented. That little blush is very pigmented. So now I'm going to go into the baked blush. What was this again? Cool Coral. And I'm going to take another BK Beauty Nikki LaRose brush. This is an N15. And I'm just going to tap into that a little and just kind of put that over the top. This doesn't really have a fragrance to it. Oh, that blush is just banging, isn't it? I knew that the blushes were pigmented because this little blush is very pigmented, but I wasn't expecting the cream to be quite so out there, but it is. Next, I'm going to do my brows. I like to get my brows done to help frame my eyes for when I do my eye makeup. This is the Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara. It has filling fibers in it, and this is the shade Brownie Brows. I can definitely see the fibers in it, and I wish the brush already was just a little bit smaller. Very easy to apply, though. I do like that. I think that that's a nice shade, and it did apply easy. Now for my eye primer, I have the Essence Prime Like a Pro eyeshadow base. Intensifying, long-lasting, no creasing, and this is a universal shade. It is very thick. Goes on quite easy. I do wish that it had some tint to it because I like for my eyes to have a nice clean canvas when I do my eyeshadow. You know, a little bit of that goes a long way. It's for my eyes. I have 2 of these little 6-pan palettes. The Taupe It Up palette I already had. I have used that once or twice, but I was drawn to the Mavit palette, which is very pretty. I like the color story in both. I may use a combination of both of them. Using the Taupe It Up palette, I was not really impressed. However, I'm used to using a palette that has a lot of pigment to it. I don't believe that these palettes were intended to have a lot of pigment to them. I think that they are nice for a beginner or for somebody that doesn't want to have a lot of pigment on their eyes. So I don't believe that there's anything wrong with them. It's just my personal preference that I prefer something that's just a little bit more pigmented. So I'm going to start with the shade here and use that in my transition area. And I'm using another BK Beauty Nikki LaRose brush. This is an N13. Actually, I may use that shade and just put it all over my lid. Give me a good canvas. Now I'm going to go into the Mavit palette and go into the shade here. I believe that is called Yeah Nice. That other shadow did set my primer well and give me a blank canvas to use. You see how soft these shades are. And I mean, this shade, this is my first time using the Mavit palette, so this is giving me a little bit more color payoff than the Taupe It Up palette. But that Taupe It Up palette also is a very light palette. So that's not bad. I'm happy with that. I think I will stick with the Mavit palette and go, there is some kick up. I'm going to go into this dark shade and put that in my outer corner of my lower lid. And pull that up into my crease. Before I started using eyeshadows that had more pigment to them, this would have been fine for me. I'm going to take that same shade and put it on my lower lash. I'm going to go into this lighter shade. I'm going to first try it on this rougher 02 without spraying it to see how it does. And it applies fine. I have a Essence setting spray. This is the Fix and Last 18-hour long-lasting makeup fixing spray. It says it's waterproof. Should I use that? Let me use something else. I'll spray it and see how it goes on. Much better when you spray it. It gives me that pigment that I'm looking for. And now using that same brush, I'm going to go into this darker shade here in the middle. That is called Fantastic. I haven't been telling y'all the names. I'm going to lightly spray that too. And put this towards the outer corner to give me a little bit of depth. And I may take it all the way in that corner because I just feel like I need a little something, something. And it looks okay. I really have nothing to complain about. I'm just, then why am I complaining, right? I feel like I have a little bit of patchiness on this eye too, which could be just my skin. The other thing that I wish that these had a light shimmer in them for the inner corner. But since it does not, I'm just going to take this really light shade and see if I can't brighten up this inner corner just a little bit. Okay, so those are the eyes. I do have an eyeliner. This is the long-lasting eye pencil. It is Black Fever, and it says 18-hour waterproof. And I'm wondering if it smudges. I typically will tightline before I put my makeup on, before I put my eyeshadow on. I did not do that. So let's tightline. I don't do wings because my eyes are too crepey for a wing. But I do like to tightline. And this is getting on my contacts. But I will say that it did go on very smoothly. It's nice and creamy, so that's a plus. I'm going to pick this. I can pick this lid up to put it on. It makes it a little bit easier. It's hard for me to pick up my right eye because I'm right-handed and I need my right hand to hold the eyeliner. So there we go. I do like that. I got a green one too. I thought that the green one would be nice. So I do like the eyeliners. Those are nice. By the way, my lips feel nice and hydrated. The balm is almost gone. My lips do not feel sticky. I do not like sticky lip products. It's one of the reasons why I don't wear lip gloss, because they're sticky and I don't like it. Okay, before I do lashes, let's do a highlighter. I got the Pure Nude highlighter. This is Be My Highlight. Is this the one that is a cult favorite? I know that people love this. I also got Baby Got Glow. This is a liquid highlighter, and it is in the shade Rose and Shine. And I got the Baby Got Diamond highlighter stick. This highlighter stick is very glittery. It's pretty, but it does have some glitter flakes in it. But let's try it, shall we? I'll just take a little brush. I'm going to take this Angie Hot and Flashy BK Beauty A506, which is supposed to be your under eye concealer, but I don't typically use brushes the way people say you should use them. I'm a rebel. Yeah, this just has a lot of glitter in it, and it's pulling up my blush, so I am not a fan. It's chunky. Yeah. No me gusta. You see, it's got blush all over it now. It is pretty on my hand, though. And it dries, kind of dries down. It feels nice and soft, but it is glittery. Let me use that same brush. Let me clean it off. This is typically the brush that I use when I put my highlighter on. And this you really can't see because of all the glitter. Let's put some on my nose. It's a very soft highlighter. Now, let's do lashes. I have the Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer, and I've had this and I love it. I think that this lash primer is way better than any of the others that I have used, and I had the Lancome, which is very pricey, and this beats that hands down. It is a very nice eye primer. It has a nice wand. It goes on very nice. I really do like it. I have been using this for quite a while, so I know how this performs, and I highly recommend it. One of the things that I like about this one is it is not clumpy. Other eyelash primers that I have used have been very clumpy, and this one is not. It goes on nice and smooth. I really do like it. My favorite eyelash primer was the Laura Geller. And they discontinued that one, which broke my heart. It was black. I don't know why. Why? Does anybody know? Tell me in the comments. Why do they make these white? I never have been able to figure that out. Is it so that you can see all the lashes, or what is the reason that they make them white? See, very nice, not clumpy. Very nice primer. I really do like that. Now, I have 3 mascaras. I have the Volume Stylist Lash Extension with lengthening fibers. I have the Lash Princess False Lash Effect mascara, and I have the Double Trouble mascara in extra black. Actually, I have 2 of these. I don't know why I have 2 of them, but I do. I'm going to go with the Double Trouble. I don't know if this is still sold. It has a chubby little brush on it. But I know that everybody and their brother knows about the Lash Princess, so I'm not going to use that. Let's try this one. And I've had this one for a minute too, so. Everybody knows that the Essence mascaras are really good. I don't know that I have seen or used a bad one. That lash primer really does a phenomenal job. Okay, lashes are done. That is a really good combination. I'm going to move on to lips. I have the Essence 8-Hour Matte Comfort Lip Liner, and it is in the shade Silky Hazelnut. I also have the liquid lip that is in the same shade, and I've had these for a little while. I have used these before, and I do like them both. It's slightly creamy, but it's not too creamy. You know, some can be way too creamy. It glides on very easy. No skipping and all of that. Anybody else out there, when you put on lip products with these doe feet, doe foots, does it tickle your lips? This always tickles my lips. I can't stand it. That as well goes on very easy, and it will dry down, and it's very long lasting. I have really enjoyed this combo. We're going to try the setting spray, the Fix and Last 18-hour long lasting makeup fixing spray. It's waterproof. It does not have any oils or alcohols in it. And I know that people typically wait. They don't put their mascara and their lip on before they do this, but I'm setting it all. I don't want any of it to go anywhere. It does have a nice mister on it. I also put some on a makeup sponge and tap that into my hand, and then use that to just go over everything and melt it in. And then once that dries down, I will go over it one more time with the powder. That does feel a little itchy to me on my eyes, where it got on my eyes. So I'm using that same powder. I just put all 3 shades in the cap. And then I'm just going to, I don't like for my face to feel sticky. Sometimes setting sprays will feel sticky to me, and I don't like how that feels. So I like to take a powder and kind of go over everything. And then, because I don't want it to look powdery, I will take that damp beauty blender and just kind of go back over it. And so this is the final look using all of the Essence products. I have thoughts. So now that we're up close and personal, can you see the patchiness where the products picked the products beneath it? It disturbed the blush. I don't know if you can see here around my nose how cakey it is. I mean, it's going to get into the creases. You know, it's going to settle. I've never had anything not settle, but it just, like on my cheeks, it looks very cakey and patchy. The eyeshadow, which is my least favorite, actually performed better than some of the other products, so I'm not a fan. So I will quickly tell you what I am a fan of. I did like the Juicy Balm. That worked really well, and it was not sticky. I'll show you what the chocolate looks like. It is very pigmented. The bad thing about these is you roll them up, you cannot roll them back down. so you have to be careful how high up you roll them. I was not a fan of this glittery highlighter. I will be decluttering that. I was not a fan of the powder. It was okay, but not my favorite. I will be decluttering that. I love the lip combo. Like I said, I've had it. I have used it. It's very comfortable. It's very long lasting. Love the combo of the primer and the mascara. This is a nice mascara. I think it did really well, but love this. This is a holy grail for me. The Bright Eyes was okay. Not something that I would probably purchase again. I might continue to try to use it and see how that does. I did really like the Jelly Grip under eye primer. My under eyes will be dry, and they just, no matter what I put on them, they look kind of crepey. So I feel like this really helped to keep them hydrated and not look so bad. I'm not a fan of the bronzer because that's, for me, is not a bronzer shade. I do like the blushes. They are very pigmented, and I think that they look fine. But of course, it will depend on if my other products are going to pick those up. Again, I will play around with those some more and see. This product I think is okay, just the wrong shade. I have concealers that I am currently using that I like better, but it could just be that I didn't care for it because it's not the right shade. The bronzing drops or highlight drops I think made my skin look nice and dewy. Those were okay. The setting spray, I think, is fine. It's not too sticky. Of course, I'll have to see how long that lasts. The primer, I thought, was good. Again, we'll have to see how long that lasts. The eyeshadow primer, it was an eyeshadow primer. It was fine. Again, I like something that has some pigment to it. Not a fan of this bronzer either. I did like the eyebrow gel. I thought that that worked really well. Love the eyeliners. I thought that those were really nice. I will have to play around with this some more as well. I've had this for quite some time and love that. So I know that I like the blushes. I will just have to play with them and see. I want to try this again on other makeup, you know, when I do my makeup with different products to see how that actually looks. I'm not a fan of the stick. It was very creamy and it felt hydrating, but I did notice that there were places where it did kind of get down in my pores, and I just wasn't a fan of how it looked on my skin or how it made my skin look. I much prefer their pouch I've had for a while. You can see my blue dot, and have used this quite frequently, but not a fan of that. And of course the eyeshadow palettes, they were fine. They're fine. I just prefer something that's a little bit more pigmented, even though it looks fine on my eyes. So that is my full face of Essence. Lots of first impressions. I'll have to keep you posted about some of the other products and what I think about them when I keep on using them. Let me know down in the comments, are you a fan of Essence? And what is your favorite Essence product? If you would like to spend just a little bit more time with me, I picked this video just for you. I'll see you in my next video. Okay. Love you. Bye.